Okay, well, I'll start by saying thanks for joining me. We're just doing
Thanks for having me.
it's a fully fake podcast. I do not have a podcast at all, but I
Good.
did some interviews when I did a movie earlier in the year and I released it. I interviewed everyone in the cast and it was just kind of fun to be able to put some clips out there and put these things up. And so Jay did one the other day. I'm doing one with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to
I
all the
think it's a good
ladies.
excuse. It's like a good excuse to talk to people. Like Lemmy and I did it for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. And you end up having an excuse to hang out and bullshit with people.
Totally. It's
It's
so
great.
fun.
Yeah.
I listened to the Amy Poehler one and whatever. I'm like, that seems like a dream job. You just sit around and invite your most hilarious friends to sit around with you and
Yeah.
shoot the shit for an hour and call it a day. So this
And then
is
you
my
get
fake
massive
podcast.
sponsorships. You sell advertising. You know what I mean?
Yes, I'm not
Great.
quite there yet, but Anyway, this is Kevin Heffernan. I feel like, as I said to Jay, anyone who follows me probably is well aware of who you are. But if not, he plays the unbelievably hilarious Farva. I imagine you get recognized the most for that, but he's writer, director, actor, producer. You just produced your own show for a couple years.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
editor, all the things really.
Yeah.
Right?
They
Dad.
only recognize me when I grow the mustache. That's it.
That's not
That's when people
true.
recognize who I am. Yeah.
Is that true?
Well, I mean, most of the characters people know me from I have a mustache. So whether it's the
That's
TV
funny.
show or so.
But I feel like
So
you're
that's what
so
happens. Like we're going on the promotional tour now, and they asked
Yeah.
us to grow the mustaches.
I saw Eric posted 2 days ago and he was doing a full close-up of the stash. It's back.
Yeah.
I don't think Jay's got it, does he?
No, he's too vain.
Oh, so what does he get, a little glue-on situation?
Well, they asked him to grow it, and then he does it, and then he does like a stand-up show, and he shaves it for the stand-up show because he doesn't want to have a mustache in his stand-up
Right.
show. And then he ends up having to wear these kind of stupid if people watch some of the promotional videos that we shot, they'll see that he has like a stupid mustache that's like a different color than his hair, and he can't smile.
Like ground falling off.
Yeah. It's terrible.
You guys are doing a lot of press. I'm super excited about that. My feed went from kind of quiet on the Super Troopers front to fully inundated, which is awesome. I'm so happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, I
Right?
felt the same way. We had this meeting yesterday where they went through all the departments and presented what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks. And it was very kind of exciting because, yeah, it feels like, when is it going to start hitting and when people are going to see the videos and blah, blah, blah. So now we're kind of getting into that realm. And so they're sending us out. We leave Sunday and we go on the road for 3 weeks, right up to the release.
So awesome. And
great.
you're coming here to do some kind of WrestleMania thing in Minneapolis.
Yeah, we're coming to do SummerSlam.
Yeah, I'm going to be
with
there.
our good friends at the WWE. We're going to do some cross-promotional stuff.
It's definitely a good cross promotion. I love it.
Now, are you going to come to that or what?
Oh, yeah, I'm coming.
Okay, good.
I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do there other than just cheer in the sidelines. Are you guys doing things in it or?
I think we are. I think we're going to shoot some stuff in advance of them out here, and then out there we're going to do I don't know. The last time we did it, we played dodgeball with the wrestlers and all kinds of crazy shit.
That's funny. But I'm not doing any of that.
I think you might have to. But you're
like
the mayor of Minneapolis, aren't you? The mayor, everyone knows you in Minneapolis.
Totally. No one knows I'm the mayor, but I feel deep down inside that I'm the mayor.
You can introduce us around there.
Yeah, I will. I mean, I feel like if I walked around with you guys, their minds would be blown. They'd be so excited. Because obviously they know Eric's from here and they know that we both went to the same high school randomly. And so, but then he left Minneapolis. But so there's a lot of lore around Eric being from Minneapolis. But to have you guys all in town is super awesome.
Sure. With the WWE.
With the WWE, it's a gigantic event. It's at the US Bank Stadium. I mean, it's a real.
Yeah, it's their big summer event, so it's fun. Are any of your kids into wrestling? Have your boys or anybody been into the?
No.
Do they have their phase, the wrestling phase?
No. Were your kids into wrestling?
Well, when I was a kid, I was, and I thought it was fun or whatever. And then what happens? My son and your kids may be the same way, but they go through phases, right, where they're into something intensively for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and then they drop it. And so wrestling was one of those things that he got into for a while, really intensively. And we went to matches together, and it was kind of fun, kind of reintroducing yourself into that world. And now we do all this cross promotional stuff with them. So
So
I
will
don't know,
he
it's kinda
so will he be part of that? Will he come out or will he be
he's
there for the
begging.
LA part?
He's begging.
He is?
And so but he's
Well,
kinda,
I
like,
have to
past it now. Now he's like, I mean, he's got World Cup soccer mania now, that's his new thing,
right,
so
okay.
it's
Well, if he wants to come, I have a 17-year-old son he can roll with for sure.
okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay,
Okay.
so I'm gonna ask you a couple questions, some of which I found to be strange. I found it to be weird that I didn't know the answer to some of these because I was like, I don't actually know. So this is my
Okay.
first one for you.
Okay.
You did Puddle Cruiser. You're already a comedy troupe. You're gonna do another thing. Like, how did you land on the premise of Super Troopers? Like, how'd you decide? The cop world and all that. Was it a comedy bit you'd already done, or where'd it come from?
Well, yeah, I mean, the difficult thing for us was always to try to figure out how to find a world where you could have 5 guys on equal footing so that
Yeah,
everyone gets equal screen time. And, so you're always kinda searching for those worlds, and, for the time period of that was I don't know if you've heard this story or whatever, but, like, we were all kind of, like, pretty fresh out of college. We had made this first movie, and, like, you have those summers where you kinda travel around, like, all your friends get married, in the
yeah,
same summers, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
we would hop into Jay's car, all 5 of us, and we would drive around to these weddings, and, inevitably, we'd get pulled over by the cops, for speeding ticket, whatever it is. But it became this kind of funny thing where it happened multiple times, and, we joked about how, like, we were such tough guys until the cop walked up to the car, and then you're like, "Yes, sir. No, sir." You got very kind of deferential to the cop, whatever. And they always cracked us up, and we would be driving around, like, coming up with scenarios like, "What if the cop did this?" or "What if the cop did that?" And so we just started rolling, and at the time, we were kind of more sketch oriented, so you would think about it as a
Yeah,
sketch.
yeah.
What if a guy's having sex with a bear? What would the cop do? Would they stop the guy from having sex with the bear? And so we came with all those premises, and then it was like, well, let's kind of like hang them on a structure and make it into the movie. So it was kind of like,
I have not heard that story. It's a funny story.
oh,
To
you
be
haven't
a
heard this
fly
story?
on the wall in that car.
Yeah, I mean, those were the funny things is that you're such a tough guy, and then all of a sudden the cop comes up, and you're like, no,
Totally. Me too.
and
I'm doing nothing wrong, and I see a cop anywhere near me, and I'm like hyperventilating,
yeah.
sweating hard, completely. By the way, out of curiosity, because I people have asked me this, and the answer is embarrassing, but how many tickets do you think you've gotten out of being Farva?
Tons,
Me
tons.
too.
Yeah.
Me
They
too.
they they give yeah, like, now it's a joke because, like, I do drive a little fast, I will say,
Yeah, me
and,
too.
I will be with my family, and inevitably, I'll get pulled over. Like, I was driving with my dad last summer. We were driving upstate New York, and he's like, "Just slow down." I'm like, It's cool. It's cool. He's just slow down." I'm like and so we come over a hill, all of a sudden, boom, lights are behind me, and my dad's like, "See? See? I told you. I told you not to do that." And then, I pull over, and the cop walks up. Turns out the cop's a huge fan of Super Troopers and Tacoma FD, and, he let me off, and my dad was angry about it. Like, he was angry that I was so cocky, and then I got out of
I
it.
feel like
But
I get a lot of, like, street cred in my family. They're like, "It's fine. She can do this." The only problem is like, you probably feel like if they don't recognize you without the stash, you get pulled over, you're like, "Hang on. Let me put this
yeah,
bad
yeah,
boy on before you walk
yeah,
up." Me too. If I'm in, like, full
yeah,
soccer mom mode, they won't
yeah.
recognize me. So I'm like, I gotta
No,
get,
I'll
like, my
take the
A.
hat off and the glasses off. I'll take, like, my eyeglasses off, whatever.
Yeah. I've even, like, once, I think, made my kids drop it. Like, I was like, "Just if they don't figure it out, you can say something." Because it
Sure.
works, you know? We're
It
like in
does,
the
yeah.
family, you know?
Yeah, no,
What are you
I
gonna do?
was going
Okay.
to we were throwing out the first pitch at, Petco Park at the San Diego Padres game. I think it was in the Beer Fest stage or whatever, and I was late, and I was driving down from LA, and I got pulled over, and I was probably like an hour f not an hour, probably like a half an hour from the stadium, and the cop's like, "Where are you going that you're in such a hurry?" I said, "Well, I'm going to throw the first pitch out at the Padres game." And he looked at me, and he was like, "Who are you to throw the first pitch out at the Padres game?" And I was like, "Oh, I made a film called Super Troopers." And that's the way that, you slip it in
Totally.
there.
You're like, "Hold on, I think
And,
you dropped something." Just
yeah.
dropping it like it's hot.
So he paused, he kinda left, went back to his car, and he came
Yes.
back, and I was like, I don't know if it worked or not." And he was like, "Can I give you an escort to the stadium?" And I was like,
Yes.
Sure, why not?"
I've had that too where they're like, "Really?" Because probably I looked like garbage and I'm like I said, in like full soccer mom mode, they're like, not feeling that."
You?
And then they like take my license, go back to the car, Google it, and they come back and they're like,
Yeah.
"Okay, okay, we believe you
That's what I
now."
don't know, if there's something in the kinda universal system that flags us as
Right.
super troopers,
Like
you know?
super trooper.
Yeah.
So
Don't give
then
them a ticket.
Another question I have is what line do people quote the most of yours? I mean,
Uh,
there's so many. I feel like you get quoted more than anybody.
yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of people calling me chicken fucker. There's a lot of that because in the first movie, like, we pull over that car, it's my parents actually who are in that car, and I called him a chicken fucker, and then that just had legs, and so, like, we did that, crowdfunding campaign for the second one, and people got to, like, buy videos of me, like, they're like cameos
Right.
or whatever that I call them chicken fuckers. Over the course of 3 days, just a guy with a camera came to my house. We recorded
Oh,
1,500
chicken.
chicken fuckers, like, "Jim, you're a chicken fucker. Paul, you're a chicken fucker." It went on forever, so that's
Don't you ever have those moments of like, I can't believe this is my real life. Like, this is my grown up job. I
It was
spent
crazy.
these
Yeah, I was
50
standing in my backyard going to camera. "Okay, now say, Johnny's a chicken." "Okay," and you're just doing it. The other one is
yeah,
shenanigans. Like, I get a lot of shenanigans,
shenanigans for sure.
and, people if there is an actual restaurant, like a real shenanigans, I always get,
Oh,
pictures of those. People send
God.
to me and other
I
stuff.
mean, it kind of is the gift that keeps on giving. Like,
I
I
love it.
don't blame you. I would want you to scream all
Yeah,
those things at me too. They're
yeah.
hilarious. And so your wife, I know, is an OBGYN, has like a very
Yes,
respectable real job. And here you
way more
are
special
yelling
than me.
at her in the
Yes,
backyard. But in an
yes.
alternate, like sliding doors universe, what kind of job would you have? If like none of this worked out, what do you think you'd be?
I don't know, I did go to law school while we
Well,
were
there you
doing
go.
our stage shows. Yeah,
That's so
I went
dignified of you, you chicken
I
fucker.
know. I was on track, and, you know, I went to law school while we were doing our shows, and then right before we made our first movie, I kind of told my dad, I was like, "I'm out. I'm gonna go make movies," and
Over.
not very well. He was kind of like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm not gonna take the bar exam or anything." He goes, "Now, why would you take the ball down to the goal line and not cross into the end zone?" And I was
That's
like,
fair. I mean, I
yeah,
feel that way as a
totally."
parent for sure. And I
And I
mean,
said,
the
"I promise I
likelihood
will."
of yeah, even of I mean, if you met with total failure in Hollywood, you would? Is that what the promise was?
Yeah, I think so. Or, which we're all likely to do, right? It's like it's very unusual that we get to the point, right, where you and
Totally,
I and whatever we've been in this business a long time. You
totally.
know, most of the time it doesn't work out. So you got to have a
And
plan.
even when it does work out, it like works out and then it doesn't and then it does and then
Sure.
it does. I mean, I,
Yeah.
I feel like you're always as good as your last thing, and then you gotta
Yeah, we're
just like
traveling salesmen. Yeah, we're just
totally.
salesmen. Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've used that analogy because I'm like, I'm just
Yeah.
out selling my wares. Let me just
Yeah.
go.
Sometimes you do, and
Especially
sometimes you don't, you know?
totally, and especially as a
Yeah.
writer, with the pitching process, you just really feel like a salesman-y. I mean, an actor,
Yeah.
yes. Did you ever do the full audition racket, or did you just kinda make your own vehicles
Yeah.
like a
Yeah, I
very
did.
smart
I hated it. I hated it, but I
Oof.
did, yeah, I mean, God, we tell all those stories, but just tons of times where you're just auditioning and it's just rejection after rejection after rejection,
It's
and you
crazy.
gotta have a thick
It's
skin, you know? But I think that's why, and I think you probably are the same way, right? Where, like, you realize that when you can write and create your own material, then you'll have a little more
totally.
control over your future, you know what I mean? If you're at the
Except
mercy
Jay
of other
was like,
people.
"You have to." I mean, you have to. Like, I made my own movie because I was like, "Okay." I kept being compartmentalized either as an actor or as a writer, but never as the 2 combined, and I was like, "I'm so confused why you guys are so confused. Like, why can't you figure out that if I do this and this, I can do them together?" But
Yeah.
whatever. It's
Yeah, I
just
think there
a
are some people who just wanna who just wanna act or just wanna write or whatever, like, and we run into those people all the time, and it's like that's
for
what
sure.
their love is, you know? But I
And
don't know,
I
I
get it.
feel like it's my compulsions or something, my OCD or whatever it is that, makes me want to be able to control the situation more,
Yes.
so.
Well, there is certainly an element of control freak. And I think that's why I started writing is that as an actor, I was like, I can't, there's only so much of this I get to have a say in. And then when you start to write, you get all of a sudden, I had a show made and they were like, you're the boss. What do you want to do how do you want this room to look? I was like, wait, what? That's my job?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Exciting slash terrifying. So of
yeah.
all those things you do, like you write, you direct, you edit, I mean, you literally do all the things. Is there one you like the most?
Usually it's like I think of it like the seasons, like when you're in the wintertime, you want it to be summertime, when you're in the summertime, you want it to be wintertime. It's like when I'm editing, I want to be writing, and when I'm writing, I want to be acting or whatever. But actually the most fun I've had in the last few years was being showrunner for Tacoma FD
Yeah,
because
I
it was
bet.
all of it. It was what you were
I
just
bet.
talking about. It's like there's something comforting to me about writing the script, but also telling you what color the napkins are on the table. You know what I mean
I
in the
know.
scene. and
I
I
know,
like
and it's
all that,
it's
you
so
know?
fun. I mean, it's overwhelming. I think if you were really young and green, it would be, like, a lot to take in, but
Yeah.
then once I don't know, once I got used to it, I really liked it. I was like, "Oh,
Well, that's the
I"
beauty of it, right? When it clicks in, like, when it clicks
yeah,
in and you can do it and you know what you're
yeah,
doing, that's the most satisfying time, right?
yeah,
So,
and you have to
we
learn to be
started doing that
decisive
show
be
and you
yeah,
so we started doing that show and we didn't really know, and then by the time you get into season 2, season 3, you know what you're doing, and then it's really fun, you know?
yeah, I feel like that show, everyone wants it to find a new home or something, and people love that
Yeah.
show so much. I hope
Yeah,
you guys
we just cut a deal for it for, well, no, it was streaming on Netflix, and then the window ended, so now we just signed a deal with Amazon, so Amazon Prime is gonna move over to Amazon Prime,
oh,
and
but not to make more.
not to make more. That we're still trying to work on, but,
I think
farther
yeah,
you get
I mean
away. Yeah.
I know, but maybe this will give put some tailwinds on that because I feel like,
Yeah, this, Super Troopers 3.
it's a similar
Yeah.
world. Yes. This podcast,
I
yes.
always have my poster in the background, so,
I know. Actually, when I'm at home, I have the exact same thing. I have
yeah.
the upside down poster from the first movie,
Yeah, I have
and
all
it's like
those over there. Yeah.
even though it's just a random corner of my basement, I tried to make it look like a legit office by having a
Yeah.
poster in the background.
Yeah, I told them, I said, "Send me a poster." I put up in the back of every Zoom I do, so.
I you know what? I should ask them, is that for number 3?
Yeah,
Oh, I should see if they'll send me one.
they
Upgrade
will.
my situation. They will?
They
Okay.
will.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
ask
yeah.
for that. I'm gonna do that.
'Cause they don't know
So
any better. Like, you're like, "I need a
okay, well,
poster
say, Auction
on foam board, please."
okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'm gonna be not only ask, I'm gonna be super demanding about in what
Yeah,
form it's
yeah.
okay, I have some more questions for you. I feel like when we were doing Super Troopers 3, we joked a little about you because you are really quite different from Farva. I mean, significantly
I
different from
I
Farva.
hope so.
So we
I
joked.
hope so.
I feel like I'm curious if your answer is gonna be this, but I feel like what helps you channel Farva? Like get into the mode of Farva.
Yeah, I mean, there are little trigger things like the mustache, like you chew a piece of gum or whatever. There are those
That's
little
what I
actory
said.
things. Yeah.
That's what I wrote
You
down. I'm
chew
like
the gum, and then
99% chance he says the gum.
you get the buzz cut and you get the gum and the mustache, and then it helps you kind of, channel the asshole of that guy. But also it's just I think a lot of actors like this, and it's like, we all like to have characters with depth and that kind of stuff, but sometimes it's just nice to play a two-dimensional cartoon character. And
He's the
sometimes it's
best.
nice. And in Broken Lizard, we traded around on different projects who is kind of more that,
Yeah.
off-kilter character. And
Yeah.
everyone kind of wants that because that's kind
Yes.
of where you have some fun.
It's
So
I
I'm
mean,
lucky
completely.
because that's the character in Super Troopers that kinda has that angle.
Yeah, you've gotten to do it 3 times and probably, I imagine, to the most notoriety because I would imagine Super
Yes.
Troopers is kind of
Yeah,
the most
definitely.
known, but
Yeah.
is there, like, a favorite, I don't know, experience you've had on all your movies? Like, a any things that stand out to you is like I mean, I think back to Super Troopers 1 and, like, how scrappy we were. I mean, it was a
Yeah,
scrappy like, I was telling
yeah,
someone that we had 1 trailer, not like none of the actors had a trailer. There was
no,
1 hair, makeup, wardrobe. I was the only girl, so it'd be like, I guess I'll just go hide behind this sheet and change into my thing, and then we just, like,
yeah.
sat around in fields all day while everyone shot their stuff, and it was scrappy
I know,
for the
it
day.
was kind of guerrilla filmmaking. That was kind of the beauty of it, and, like, I look at it now where, they're running a lot of clips and stuff, and they have the scene in the burger joint or whatever when I jump over the counter, and I
Yeah,
remember us being at the time being like, "Should we get a stuntman for this?" And I was like, "Ah, nah, fuck it, nah, stuntman, whatever. I'll just jump over the counter, tackle the kid." And, Charlie Finn, who plays the burger kid, "Should we
yeah,
get a stuntman for him?" "Nah, I'll just tackle him. Who cares?"
because we're all,
And
like,
I watch it
25.
now
Years.
and you jump over the counter. Like these days, like I'd be like, I'm not jumping over the counter. Too old. Not gonna happen.
A, we're
But
too
those are
old,
the
and
days
B,
you did it.
like, everyone's, like, litigious now, and you would just be like, "No, there's no way,"
Yeah,
now
I
they've
used to
got
also
hands and everything.
throw out like 3 discs in my back or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like,
I was thinking about it because I don't know if you remember this, but when you guys hired me, you offered me the movie. I didn't know any of you. And then you'd offered the 2 captains the movie. You didn't know them either. And I guess I was getting some kind of like royal treatment. And so you guys put me in the fancy hotel, which was like, not fancy. It was like a Marriott or something.
sure, sure,
And then
yeah,
you guys were all in that like just shit box, like,
yeah, really shitty motel. Yeah,
was it like a travel lodge or something? I mean, it
I
was
don't
like,
know that it was even a chain. I
whoa,
think it might have been a
you're
local
right.
motel.
It was like you were, like, camping, but with a roof over your head, and
Yeah.
then I was in this Marriott or whatever it was, and I remember sitting there for, like, 3 days by myself, and I was like, "This is so boring," and so I called my agents, I'm like, "Can you please move me to the Shitbox Travel Lodge because I don't wanna be here alone anymore," and so I did, I moved over to where you guys were, and then it was more fun.
Well, that was like I remember because like somebody sent pictures around recently where it's like we would all like stand in the parking lot, like our doors would open in the parking lot, like it's a little motel, and everyone would just
Yeah.
stand in the parking lot drinking beers, and
Yeah.
then
And
it
then
was kind of
wasn't
a
there a
very
bar? There was a bar in that lodge or a bar nearby that everyone went to all
it
the
was like
time?
across the street. I think it was in that
Yeah,
area. Yeah,
yeah,
And we went to that, and yeah, no, I think that happens a lot actually, right? Where you try to treat people with respect and put them in a nice, respectable hotel, and they're like, I'm kind of bored with this. Yeah.
totally. I was like, "This sucks." Like, the 2 captains didn't really wanna hang out with me all that much, so I was like, "I'm gonna
Yeah.
move over there with those guys." Okay, so I didn't even let you answer. Do you have, like, favorite memories that stand out, or was it, like, when you found I'm just curious, like, I'm sure there's a million, but
Yeah, no, I definitely. I mean, it goes movie to movie, but like on this one, I really love this kind of Indian dancing stuff. Like
yeah,
it was so like out of my wheelhouse.
yeah,
And when we talked about it, it was like, oh yeah, we're gonna do an Indian wedding. We should do like a Bollywood dance number. And then you're like, oh, who's
yeah.
gonna do that? And then they're like, well, Farva can do it. And then you get into that thing, and like I'm spending like a weekend rehearsing with Hannah Simone, and I'm like, holy shit, we're really gonna shoot this fucking thing. And then all of a sudden we're in a Bollywood dance number.
It was so good. It was so good. Hannah
It
was
was so
so
fun,
nervous.
you know?
It
Yeah.
was so fun, and you guys
Yeah.
crushed it, and, having all those dancers around that were, like, real dancers
Really
helped so
good.
much, and the choreographer was amazing, but you guys were great. There was
No,
a
I
lot of,
think
like,
they protected
"I'm
us.
not a
They
dancer,"
protected us in
you
a
guys
nice way.
crushed
It was
it.
a very nice it was a very
Yeah, it
nice
was so good.
protection. But to have the
Yeah,
real dancers and then make it feel like this,
yeah,
I loved it, and I loved editing that stuff. It was a blast. I mean, those are the times where, like, you do something a little off kilter, and it
yeah.
makes it kind of, a lot of
Well,
fun
and the
as
whole
an
movie
actor.
is kind of like a different version, in my opinion, from your other movies because there is more of a female entry point for you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's just a lot more women in it and more a love story and all the things. And so I feel like you already have this gigantic fan base, but I also feel like it will reach people that don't already know you guys because it's a great, romantic, cute, fun story. I mean,
Yeah, and
with
it's weird
lots
because, like,
of
well, they have this kind of elaborate testing processes, for you go through for the movies, when you're in post-production. And, they have these companies and they gather data. And so,
yeah.
they get the background on everyone sitting in that test audience, and then they can break it into groups and stuff. And we always test so poorly in like the women over 35 or whatever it is. There's always
Yeah.
these quadrants. And
Yeah.
this movie, like, I think for the reasons you cited or whatever, it just tested the best we've ever done
I know.
with women over 35, and we're like, oh,
That's so
we've figured
great.
something out here. We have to have
So
certain things
I'm
that are accessible.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's so funny, it's, like, heartwarm it's so cute, and then I'm bringing my 10-year-old to
Okay,
the
okay,
premiere,
okay,
so I was
okay.
like, "You're gonna have your eyes and ears closed for the entire movie, but you can walk in with me,"
That's what someone
because
asked me. I was out last night and somebody was like, "Can I take my kid to Super Troopers 3?" And I'm like, "I don't know. What kind of a parent are you? It doesn't, I'm not really sure. And he's like, "Well,
well,
the second one, or there was one, or the first one." He said, "Watch the first one," and then there was nudity in it. I got a little concerned. And I was like, "Well, there's not nudity in this one except me." And then I was like, "Actually, I'm nude in this one. You see my butt."
I
And
did,
so,
my other movie was kind of like it's more sentimental and whatever, so I think certain people follow me that didn't know me from anything else because of Blue-Eyed Girl, and I posted the scene where you walk through covered butt naked, covered in powdered sugar, and
yeah,
there were a few
yeah, yeah,
people who I think were scandalized. I was like,
yeah,
"Oh," but no, I think that my son I just figure it's different rules. If you're in the movie, they're all coming, so they'll just have to
yeah.
deal with it.
Oh, I
He
mean, they'll love it. I mean,
or
whatever. It's like scandalous for them to go see a movie like that, right? I mean, they'll love it.
Yes, exactly, he'll love it. Okay, I have fan questions. I did have another question for you about you guys because obviously I've known you guys forever. How would you describe being in the trenches with 4 other dudes for this many years. I mean, I feel like not only are you acting in movies together, but you're writing together. I mean, this is probably a 3-hour conversation on its own, but are you like an old married couple times 5 or what, like, what is it? How does that work?
Oh,
Yeah.
no question. No question. No, I mean, and, yeah, you go through, when we were younger, the fights were more volatile and they were, now we still fight, but we bicker more like an older couple, I think.
Yeah.
And, uh,
Everyone
and,
has their role.
yeah, and stuff kind of, rolls off your back a little easier too, I
Yeah.
think. It's like, but there are still, I mean, the beauty of it is, and I say this to, young writers and whatever it is that collaboration is so important and it's so good
Yeah.
for us and it motivates each other and it makes your stuff better and
Yeah.
whatever it is. The downside is that there are fights and there is conflict
Yeah.
and blah, blah, blah. And the longer you work together, the more you figure out how to navigate that stuff, right? So
Manipulate.
now we're at this point now where the fights in the edit room are not, end of the world fights. They're
Yeah.
fights, and then they end up being stopping. And I mean, and on this movie, Jay and I had just drag out fights in the edit room about certain things,
Okay.
and the next day you're like whatever. And now we'll sit in a screening of the thing, and even though I lost the argument, let's say, that scene will come up, and we'll look at each other during the screening and be like,
Yeah.
laugh about it or whatever. So
Right.
I think the beauty of it is, like if you've been in a long-term relationship or whatever it is, like, you have secondhand things but the person has your back and,
Yeah.
there's all kinds of great positives to it.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing because, bands don't stay together that long and, but we have. So,
Yeah, you have. And I mean, I'm
yeah.
sure with time you figure out like one of you is great with structure, one of you like comes in and is amazing with the hard jokes. I'm sure you
Yeah.
find your lanes. And I know you and Jay have kind of directed and edited more than the rest have, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, that's the great thing is, like, Jay and I will spend however much time in the edit room, and then we'll show the cut to Lemmy or show the cut to Soder or Solansky, and then
Yeah.
they'll be like, "Oh, this, that, and the other thing." You're like, "Oh, I didn't even think about that." And then,
Yeah.
so it's really a nice check and balance kinda thing.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, really. Because I mean, I've tried to
Yeah,
write with writing partners, and it's not like I was like having drag out fights, but it's just hard because you have your idea and they have theirs, and times 5, it seems like hard. But man, you guys have done it
yeah.
to great success. Okay, these are fan questions. Do you prefer being a trooper or a firefighter?
Oh, that's hard. I don't know. It's hard to say which one because the firefighter thing was so interesting because it was like still guys in uniform, but it was this different culture, right? Like we would go and do these promotional events afterwards, and the cops would come up and you take pictures with them and whatever and whatever. The firefighters would come up to you in like a autograph line or whatever, and they would want to pick you up and they would want to like manhandle you. Like they had this weird kind of like, physical thing. And I always thought it
That's
was really funny because like I have countless pictures of me being lifted up by firefighters, and I'm not a little
so
guy.
weird.
And I always thought that was a funny thing. That was a funny element to them. But
Is it just
the interesting
because they
thing is,
rely on their physicality more in that bit? I mean,
yeah,
obviously they must.
they're adrenaline junkies. The firefighters are adrenaline junkies, and the cops are a little more cautious, but
Yeah,
the firefighters are just they're looking for that, that danger element. And so it's just very
that's,
physical, which I always love. I think it's funny.
I'd like to see some of the
But they're
pictures you hoisted on high.
I'll send you. I have one of like we went to Tacoma to do an opening thing, and they called up all the female firefighters that are in the unit. And before I knew it, 6 or 7 of them had the female firefighters had lifted me up over their heads, and they were cheering. We have pictures of it. I'll send you, but it's like
That's
it was
hilarious. They're just throwing you
ridiculous.
around.
Yeah. So they're
All
very
right.
different they're different cultures. And, the other kind of weird thing was in the firefighter show, I was the chief. So I was the guy in the white shirt. I was the guy who was in charge. And that has a very different vibe to it. Cause like in Super Troopers, I'm like the outcast idiot.
Phone kind
And
of.
now when I go to
Okay.
fire departments, the firefighters are all like, "Hey chief, hey chief, hey chief." It's like a different,
Funny.
there's a very different respectable vibe to it.
So I think you know Sam Trammell. Do you know Sam Trammell?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah, I know him well. Yeah.
He did Blue Eyed Girl, so I interviewed him, and he
Yeah.
was in the middle of doing a movie where he was playing the president, and he said he's played the president a few times, and he's like, "People are so deferential on set. People are just like, 'Please come through, Mr. President. What can I get for you, Mr. President?'" He's like,
That's
"You guys know
hysterical.
I'm not really the president, right?" I think it's just some kind of effect it
But that means
has.
you're a good actor, right?
Yes,
Your
so
aura
yes.
being presidential.
Exactly, the aura.
Yeah.
Okay, this I'm a little invested in this answer. Does Farva still have a thing for Ursula?
definitely. Come on.
That's the
Why
right
not?
answer.
I'll tell you this though, the thing that I loved, and this is not a Farva thing, this is a Kevin Heffernan thing. You show up in this movie like 15 minutes in, right? Like you 15 minutes is when you show up. And to me, it's a breath of fresh air when you show up. Because it's like for 15 minutes, it's like dudes and whatever. And then all of a sudden you kind of show up and it's in that beautiful setting, like you pull up in the car, we were on that lake and whatever, and you
Yes.
kind of when you have such a great energy. And I'm like, it's always so happy to me when you show up in the movie because the
Oh,
energy
thank you.
shifts to a nicer way. So
Well, that's nice.
that's
That's nice.
my honest answer about how much
That's
I like when you
even a
show up.
better answer than I predicted, so I'll take it all day. Okay, are you proud that Lita Ricola is finally gonna be official?
Yeah, I mean, it's super funny. It's like, that little joke, and then, we were doing promotional shoots with, like, AMC or something, and they had, like, a shitload of them lined up there, like, they had made liters of
Yeah,
cola, and then we
it's
shoot
crazy.
this bit where they're like, "Here's the liter of cola,"
I mean, it's
and now
crazy
people
you
are
got all
buying them.
that's
Yeah,
so crazy.
and
And I
they're,
heard
like,
all the
buying them as advanced products.
I mean, because people are obsessed with that joke, so to have, like, a tangible product you can buy, like, of course, like, it's so great. And those
Yeah.
movie theaters it seems like they're all in. They're, like, all doing so much press for you guys. It's so
Yeah,
awesome.
and we went around and, like, out in where you guys are in the Midwest, they have that Marcus Theaters. That's
Yeah,
kinda like the big chain in the Midwest,
yeah,
and we went to Milwaukee and we shot, like, all this content with the owner of Marcus Theaters, and they've been running it, I guess, in the theaters there, but, like, the
yeah,
theaters are kind of into it because, it's a summertime, like, kinda good old-fashioned rated R comedy.
yeah,
And I think the theater owners haven't had that in a while. And they get the superhero movies and they get the horror movies and they've been doing very well. But I think
right.
they still like that element of getting people all together in their theaters and laughing?
And this is its own brand, and it's like finally people are going to theaters. It's its own like tone, which you're right. It's like I'm not a horror movie person, so I'm not going
Yeah.
to go see that. And I'm not even really a Marvel person, but I am a comedy person. So I'm
Yeah.
glad they're encouraging this. Okay, next question. When do we get Weed Fest? I know you get that a lot.
It's funny because, like, since we've made those jokes, like, weed is totally legal and accepted in our culture now. So it's like, when we first made the joke or whatever, which was like 2008, I don't remember what it was. It was so
Yeah,
kinda like counterculture and like, underground, and we're gonna do a weed thing? And then now the landscape is totally different, and so,
that's
like
true. Except Beer Fest is like, I would say, second after Super Troopers in terms of people's
definitely,
favorite.
definitely, but I'm saying,
Yeah.
like, when we started conceiving it and we, like, outlined that movie, and we did go down the road a couple times on it, it was all about, like, sneaking around and,
Oh, right.
and beating the man and, whatever it is, like a Cheech and Chong movie, and then,
Right.
now you have to figure out, how to do it without doing it
Right.
that way,
Especially in
but
LA, when I go
people
back to
still want it.
LA, I'm like, everyone's smoking pot everywhere now. It's
Yeah.
just like I don't even know.
Yeah, and
But
there's
okay.
everyone's got products, and everyone wants you to be part of their products, and
Oh, I
and
bet they want you guys to be a part of their products for sure.
they
But
do, they do.
um okay, the last question I know the answer to, but I'm gonna put it out there because of the answer. Are you going to San Diego Comic-Con?
Yes, definitely. Are you
Are
going to
we
San Diego Comic-Con? Are
Yeah,
you going? Good.
that's my whole
No,
family's coming.
I think it's funny, like, studios the movie studios these days, they try to figure out how to save money always? And, these premieres that they do are, they cost a lot of money, and then they bitch about them,
Yeah.
and because it's really a party for us?
Yeah.
And, and so somebody came up with this idea that we're gonna be down there, and Comic-Con is, like, the week before we come out.
Yeah.
All the press will be there, all people will be there, why don't we just do it there?
Great.
And we're like, "Oh, that's kind of a smart idea."
Totally, and someone told me that they premiere a lot like Big Bang Series pilot premiered they like, they premiere
Yeah,
stuff there because the fans are there already. What I mean,
yeah, the
I've
fans are
never
there,
been to
the press is there, the influencers are there, like, all the pieces are there, and so it's a
Great,
captive audience? And
great.
so,
It'll
I think it's
be
smart,
fun.
I think it's smart, and then,
Yeah.
and also it's just like, we've gone down there, it's like a zoo down there. Have you been to
Yeah,
Comic-Con?
no.
Crazy. It's like,
I thought
and
it was smart to never go until I wanna go with my 4 children, my husband, and my mother. I thought that would be super chill way to go to Comic-Con.
well, it's like a carnival, like, that's what'll be nice for those guys, like, the first time we ever went to Comic-Con, it was like a little thing, it was, like, just a little and then, like, we went back years later, and it's like every major company, every media outlet, everyone
Yeah,
has these giant displays, and it's a
yeah,
carnival? And,
yeah.
there are people, like, on yachts doing interviews and stuff, it's, like, ridiculous,
It's so fun.
and,
I'm so excited.
so it was like, it's
Yeah,
kind of fun, and it's there's a lot of people there, there'll be a lot of people that not affiliated with our movie who are there for their own projects and stuff, and so it's
Right,
kinda fun.
totally, yeah. It'll be super fun. Well, I don't really have any other questions. I just wanted a little bit of your time. Thank you for doing this with me. I'll cut some little
Awesome.
clips for us, and
Now I'll see you in
I'll
San Diego, I'll see you in Minnesota, I will
I'll
see
see you in
you in
Minnesota.
LA.